It's good to be in the house of the Lord. Friday morning, I was researching an answer to one of the questions that I'm doing for the first Q&A. For those who haven't heard, through messenger, email, text, or just find me where I have something to write it down with. Don't just come up and say, hey, by the way, I've got, and walk away. But if someone has a Bible question or theology question or something like that, give it to me. I'll do the research. I'll pray about it and do all this stuff and try to find a biblical response. And then I'm going to, if you don't want your name involved, it doesn't have to be, I can be anonymous, but I'm going to post it where other people can see it too, because people have the same questions. If I tell you one-on-one, here's the answer, and then 500 people don't know the answer. So anyway, I'm working on the first Q&A response. There's probably going to be 3 or 4 questions, and I don't know why I'm doing all that to go into that, but anyway, I was just about ready to actually start the answer. I had finished reading the last scholarly journal I was going to read on the subject. My brain felt like it was going to explode. I had, looked at the nearly 40 references in the scripture to this particular issue, and my sound started volume on my sound was going a little up and down because I listen to music while I pray, while I study, while I do lots of things. And the lights started flickering, and I heard my wife's footsteps, and everything in the house went dark. Now, it wasn't that dark because it was still early in the day, but there was no power. And I thought that our breaker box in the house had fried. Regardless, there is an electrical problem that we are going to have to fix. First attempt didn't quite work. That blew all the power in our house. And so we were done for the day. There may be a slight delay on getting that first answer session out because, didn't work. So we invaded my parents' house and been camping out there. Very grateful for that. And last night I went to grab a few things for Leah and I that had forgotten to grab. And some medicine for Leah, and my razor and shaving things, among other things. So I get done. This has a point, I promise. And I go into the bedroom and grab my pants that I'm going to wear today. These, actually. Throw them on the bed, and I'm thinking about maybe I should just go ahead and put them on instead of carrying them, so I don't have to worry about maybe they drop or whatever. So I took Leah's medicine out of my pants that I was wearing pocket so that I wouldn't leave them in my pocket and forget them, and I set them on top of my pants that I was going to change into and wear today so that I wouldn't forget her medicine. And then I went to get the rest of my stuff. And I went to get my shaving stuff. I shave with a little dish that has a soap in it and a brush, like my granddad used to do. My granddad on my dad's side. My papa used an electric razor all the time. I may have to go that route, but right now I don't do that. Well, those things don't travel very well, just in case you can't deduce that on your own because you have no experience with it. They make a mess because they're wet and soap all over the place. And even if they're dry at that point in time, once you take them wherever you go and you use it, now you've got a mess. So I needed a little sandwich bag or something to put all that stuff in so the soap doesn't get all over everything. So I've got my hands full of stuff and carrying my brush and my soap dish and everything into the kitchen to try to get a sandwich bag. It's dark. Okay, it's nearly midnight or around midnight, and it's very dark in that house because the clouds were covering the moon, and we don't have a street light or anything right next door, and there's no power. Actually, if I'd have been halfway smart, I have rigged some power to the refrigerator and the freezer to keep our food good. And I could have opened the refrigerator door. There was light in there. It's amazing sometimes we don't think about that. But I'm feeling on top of the microwave where we keep all of our bags and stuff, boxes of bags, for the little deal. And I'm, okay, no. And there's a little bit of light from my phone. And no, that's not it. But my hands were full, so I turned the light out. And I'm feeling. I'm like, okay, no, those are 1 gallon bags. That's not it. That's a 2 gallon bag. I'm going the wrong direction. Oh, that's aluminum foil. That's not good. Well, I guess that could work. No, that's not what I'm after. And doing this number. And I'm starting to get frustrated because about 30 or 40 seconds, which I know isn't a long time, but it feels like it when you're got your hands full and you're trying to grab something. 30 or 40 seconds later, I still haven't gotten the right bag. So I take a heavy sigh, admit that I'm not real good blind, and grab my phone again and turn the light on, shined it on to the microwave and therefore what's on top of the microwave, and lo and behold, the very first box that I touched and swore that was big bags was a box of sandwich bags. It was just bigger than the one we normally buy, so it was wider, and it threw me off. Oh, there it is. Pull it out, and the thought popped into my head, it's amazing what a little light can do. Just it's crystal clear. It's right there. Sandwich bag, Wow. Light. And suddenly it was clear. Nothing had changed other than the fact that it was clear. Well, I got all excited about that because I'm suddenly making an equivalent. See, the world was in darkness, John 1 tells us. But the light came into the world. Now, the darkness didn't comprehend it. But those in the darkness can respond to the light. And it makes things clear. And it's not just light, God shone his light down so we can see. 1 John tells us that God is light. It's his very nature and presence that communicates reality and truth and life to us. It makes it all clear. Makes it all good. I got excited. I got so excited, and I'm thinking about this and running through it, and I'm not going to give it all right now because we don't have that much time, but I'm getting so excited that I forgot to go grab my pants, which meant I forgot to grab Leah's medicine. I got the rest of my stuff, and I headed back to my parents' house and got there, and Leah said, "You got my medicine?" I said, "Yeah." I remember distinctly putting it in my pocket. And I did. I put it in my pocket, carried it from one end of the house to the other end of the house, decided to change clothes, took it out of my pocket so I wouldn't forget it, and put it on top. Look, it's not there. So I had to go back and get it. Well, if you're going to get distracted, be distracted thinking about God. But God, who is light, wrapped himself in flesh, which acted a little bit like a lampshade. Okay, nobody except for, now I would argue that even on the Mount of Transfiguration, it wasn't the full glory. I would say that nobody who saw Jesus saw the full glory. And there's a shade on it. But even a lamp with a shade on it provides a lot of light. And it clears everything up. The answer is Jesus. The solution is Jesus. The foundation for everything is Jesus. He is our hope. He is our life. He is the reason He's the reason we can respond to God's call to come and have life and have relationship with God. Because grace, which enables relationship, and truth, which establishes everything, from mathematics to your spiritual life came through Jesus Christ, the light that came into the world and shone for all to see, did what we were always supposed to do and can't. Died on that cross in our place because he loves us as we are, not as we should be. But he loves us enough not to leave us as we are. So when the grave didn't hold him and he burst forth from that tomb, alive forevermore, in resurrection power, winning the full prize for his righteousness out of love and mercy, he said, my prize is yours if you want it. You can have it. This is the best and worst trade in the history of mankind simultaneously. It is way, way worse than, Staten Island for some beads. You traded your mess, your common player, wasn't worth anything to start with, got washed in the washing machine and folded up in your pocket baseball card for that mint condition, look brand new Mickey Mantle rookie card. You made the trade of a lifetime, your mess, for his righteousness. Martin Luther called it the great exchange. It's great for us. And evidently it's great for God because he wanted to do it. He values us. And then he gave that reward to us so that we could have life and the power to walk in light. And as Barry McGuire put it, as a full moon, reflect the light of God. So that even though he is physically removed from our presence, spiritually with us always, the world has an opportunity for clarity to come because they see light that makes all the difference.